how many doctors do we have on this panel? Child psychiatrists. You know, I'm from Charleston County, and I'm gonna be frank with everybody, because I see this is gonna be a long day, and I don't like to cut and waste nobody's time. You know, when I came up here, we were worried about teachers' pay, keeping teachers in our schools, and guns coming in schools, and when I looked at the statistics and did a little research, uh, this is not a issue that we should be dealing with when you look percentage-wise. Quite frankly, it's an embarrassment. You know, I just came from Mother Emanuel Church. People back in Charleston talking about hate crimes and how we should get along with each other. And then we come up here this morning and we stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. We make a pledge allegiance to the flag. And that little word in there says justice for all. We're up here trying to take people's rights away. And really, I choose not to be a part of this. So whatever we do, we need to do it quickly because we have other important issues. Treating people with dignity and respect, that should be automatic. Trying to take people's rights away, the rights between doctors and patients, telling teachers what they should and shouldn't do. We're in a sad state in this country. We're better people than this. And I'll leave you with this. Everybody want to play God, but nobody wants to do the will of God. That's my favorite saying. I just got up this morning, I had 3 phone calls. Homeless people in hotels crying for justice, crying for help, got children in hotels. And I have to walk into a situation like this. We're better people than this. And I'm not just saying that just to be sounding off. I'm saying that because it's a fact, it's the truth. And that's why we're going to put these freaking debates and amendments up and try to do this, and everybody going to try to be something they're not. I'm not going to play Einstein because I'm not Einstein. Okay, he was gifted in that area. I'm not going to tell a mother what they should do with their child. That's between the mother and the child, the doctors, the patients. That's the thing that makes this democracy strong. The fact that we could stand up and speak the truth. You know, I proudly represent Charleston County, coming up here to serve my constituents from Charleston County. The priorities with us was always about teachers' pay, teachers' retirement, getting teachers back in the classes, you know, because we have a massive shortage of teachers throughout the state. And it seems nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about the shootings in schools around the state and around the country. And I can sit here and I can attest to the fact that when we talk about the parents and concerns as far as children, they're more concerns about, their concern lies in the area of who's walking past those weapons detector to make sure that their children return home safely from a good day's education from our teachers. Those are the things that I would assure everybody that that's the number one priority when it comes to our children and our parents, looking at all the mass shootings we had in these schools from last year and going into this year. Our concern should be in those areas and not taking the rights away from our students nor our parents. And now we're trying to get the doctors, everybody want to play God, everybody want to tell us what to do with our children. That's going a bit too far. And I would be the first to tell everybody that. And I heard the representative state his concern about the concerns of our children in schools. Well, he's right. The parents ought to be concerned, but that's an automatic. You know, parents, they have the common sense to know what they want and how much they care for our children. And we have things in place resources to assist them, and not enough, but there are resources in place to help them along with their children if they have problems. You know, we come up here to represent we the people. It's not about the party, because the party, and my peers have heard me say this, and I live and die by this. It should always be about we the people and not I the party, because we get in these kind of conflicts. Now, the state of South Carolina, homelessness, a problem. Keeping our teachers in schools and not paying them the rightful due, it's a problem. It's an exodus in these schools throughout the state of South Carolina. When you look at all 6 billion, whatever, people here or whatever, you know, their concerns does not lie. 6 million, yeah, you know, people have to understand their concern does not lie in a few, not too much percentage of people having problems. We can work that out. A young person has the right to confer with their parents in the well-being of that child. Nobody should ever come in these positions to play God. Okay? You know, I can't put that enough out there. This is a very sensitive issue. And sometimes I do get emotional about it because when I see the lifeless bodies that are being towed away from these schools and the parents pulling their hair out in public on the news because their child is now dead because we overshot our concerns about where our priorities should be. Weapons coming in these schools, and I admire our teachers. Representative, I didn't know you were a teacher, but you know, we have to put the priorities where they're supposed to be in government. And I'm not afraid, we're not afraid, because I know I work with some good people on this board up here. We're not afraid to speak the truth. And sometimes we get steered in the wrong directions. When we come to the point where we can stand up and say, look, I was wrong to introduce this. I want to back off it, maybe rethink it. Then that's a sign of a true leader. I make mistakes. And I have to change my mind on some of my bills that I've introduced up here. And I'm not ashamed to say it. But this is one bill that I think we're treading somewhere we should not be. And you could see by some of the reactions, even when we were getting into some of these amendments. Because we're trying to, you know, if you're an astronaut, be an astronaut. Okay, I don't want to, that's not my field. I'll confer with you to get suggestions. But nobody has put in front of us a statement from the medical journal saying this is why this bill should fly. I don't see a psychiatrist or child psychiatrist up here in groups and numbers telling us why we should do what we are about to do. This is so wrong. Now, we were up here talking about teachers' pay. I would be glad to sit here today. I would be joyous, you know, or why we're not paying our children attention when it comes to guaranteeing them a qualified, bona fide education that has value. I would be proud to be here today. I would start the new year off great coming in here, but this is so wrong that we should spend time, taxpayers' monies, in trying to talk about things that are not important to our citizens. And in my closing, and I'll leave you with this. If you don't believe me, what I've just told you, you wait. Sad to say, I'm going to play Nostradamus. If we don't do what's right in the sight of God, there will be more mass shooting. The homeless population will increase. Our children won't have a place to stay like the 3 families that contacted me early this morning in hotels, had to take their children out of school because they don't have a place to live. In all 3 situations, you know why they did not find a place? Well, 2 of them, I should say. Because did you know, to find a place to live, apartment now, your credit better be good. So they had to take to the hotels. And you know what's going to happen when they run out of money? They have to go to a homeless shelter. And I count a total of about 7 kids involved in all 3 families. 7 children. And we're up here worrying about a person, whether a person is trans or not. You know what? Who gives... I'm finished.